a client recently. She was telling me, she was one of my business clients, and she was telling me all of the reasons. We were talking about business, but it got personal. So she was telling me, I was telling her about what we're doing here, and she was telling me all of the reasons why she couldn't work out. You know, and she was about 100 pounds overweight. And so when she was telling me this, though, I was like, well, let me ask you a question. She said, I can't do this, I can't do that. And I said, well, let me ask you a question. I said, she was talking about she didn't have the time, excuses that many people make. And so I asked her, I said, well, let me ask you this. If your doctor or someone came to you and said, your child will die in 3 months if you don't lose 100 pounds. And I said, do you think you can lose 100 pounds? She says, absolutely, I'd lose 100 pounds. I said, so the fact that you can't lose weight is not that you can't, it's that you won't do the things to lose weight. I said, because if your motivation is right, you'll lose weight. And I said, you have a disease. And she was like, what? I said, you have a disease called excuse-itis. It's a disease that it comes from the root word excuses. And excuses are rationalizations we make to justify our behavior or lack of behavior. All right, so anytime we make an excuse, anytime we want to justify what we're doing, we come up with an excuse. And psychologists call this self-handicapping behavior. All right, and the reason I say that, because think about the Metcon we do. I'm 70, 80 pounds heavier than everybody in here. I'm 10 years or 15 years older than most anybody in here. But I've never once said my weight, or because I'm bigger than y'all, I can't do what y'all do. But that would be making excuses. So here's the thing. What excuse-itis does, y'all, it robs us of the results and the success we truly want. I remember Lynch told somebody one day, is it results or excuses? And I thought about it, I kind of meditated on that. And what he does, and I like what he does, he takes away the excuses. Because what you're left with after you get rid of the excuses is you. That's all you're left with. You have to look at yourself and say, I justify my behavior. I justify everything I do in my personal life, in my business life, in everything I do, I justify. I give you an example. People flunk out of school and they say, well, you've heard people say, well, I flunked out of school because they were racist over there, or the teacher didn't teach right. Now the reality is we have to take full responsibility, 100% responsibility of what we are, who we have become, and everything. I remember, y'all, when I got up to when I was up to 420 pounds, I blamed everything. I said, I'm traveling 3 weeks out of the month. I said, well, you know what? I don't have time to work out. My wife don't want to support me, because people say that too. My spouse doesn't want to support me. But I made all those excuses. I lied to myself. But what was I doing? All I was doing was justifying my own behavior. So I put it to you in plain terms. And I thought about it, man, as he asked me a question, and the fact that he relies on me to give him advice, because I rely on him to give me advice. The one thing that I admire, no matter what I say, when I said write a book, he wrote it in 3 weeks. When I said, okay, we got to edit it, he had to edit it in 2 days. And I thought to myself, what he does is when you take away, extinguish the excuses, all that's left is you. But the problem is, people don't want to see who they really are. They don't want to see who they really are. Because who we really are, y'all, is ugly. It's unattractive. It doesn't look good. So what we do is we dress ourselves up in excuses. And the truth of the matter is, excuse-itis, man, is a disease I don't want. And every day we do Metcon. Every day. Honest to God, I used to create those excuses. I ain't going on Wednesday. I'm not coming on Wednesday. I look forward to Wednesday because now all Wednesday is a time for me to get better, to get the results that I truly desire. And if there's any area, so what I implore you to do this morning is check any area of your life that you have this disease, excuse-itis, that you make excuses for your behavior or lack of behavior. You make excuses for the outcomes that you've gotten. Because at the end of the day, we are 100% responsible for the results that we get. In essence, excuses are blaming an internal problem on external conditions.